Hey guys, about to go to the range with my friend here, but before I do that, I'm going to reload some 308. So I'm sure everyone does a little bit differently, but I'll show you how I do it, and it seems to work so far. Okay, so I got a bunch of 308 here already measured. You want to make sure your brass, you want to inspect all your brass, you know, obviously, especially, if you're new to reloading, you know, I've only fired these cartridges once. Some of it I did pick up at the range. I got lucky and found some, so I don't know how much those were shot, but I just make sure the case length on these is less than 2.15. This one's a little bit shorter, which is okay. It'll cycle through my Remington as long as it's shorter than that. So I'm just making sure all these look nice. I don't get any so there's no dents in it. Make sure the length is right. So I got to deprime these and resize them. Got to lube them also, but we'll get to that. You want to make sure, I don't have a fancy pad or anything to put these on, but you got to lube these rifle cartridges, because if you don't, when you go to put them through your resizer and deprimer, they're going to get jammed in there. And if it gets jammed in there with a rifle cartridge, that thing ain't coming out. So you got to make sure you lube it. I mean, unless you want to buy new dies or try to somehow get that thing out of there. So you get yourself your shell holder. Your shell holder is what's going to be that holds on to the bottom of your cartridge as you run it through your press. So apparently on this one for 308. So once you get your shell holder, that's what's going to hold your round in. So you pop this guy into your press here. What I usually do is I run my ram all the way up. So get this guy to hit flush with this, and I lock it. Okay, so once you got your shell holder in place, you have the bullet here. So you're ramming up into there. The primer shoots out, goes down into this tube, and you pull it out, and it's resized. Huh, that's funny. So as recording this, there's a crack in the brass that I didn't notice when I was measuring these. So this one's going to be discarded, and I'm going to have to grab another one. That's what you want to look for. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's there's a crack in the brass. So the amount of pressure that a 308 fire is, that could be dangerous. So something you want to look for when you're reloading is stuff like that. And just throw these away. There's no point in trying to salvage it. They actually make so like on my pistol, they make little holders you can get that hold all of the cartridges and space it out so you can actually grab them. I don't have one of this for 308 because usually when I do pistol cartridges, I do like 200 or 300 at a time. So being that I do such low quantity of 308 currently, I don't have any holders like that, but it makes the process go a lot faster because you don't have to worry about knocking over all your brass. You can separate out the ones that are finished or on the next stage, and just kind of like an assembly line, just go through and just start doing it. What I do is I just drop them on the plate, give a little tumble, and all the ones that are upside down turn the right way. And now they can be loaded. You put your lid back on, and you seat it. That one's ready to go. So let me do all these. Okay guys, I ran out of time yesterday, so I went shooting, and I'm going to finish this video now. I believe the last step I was on was priming all the casings. So now that I got all of these bullets primed and ready to go, I can start putting the powder charge and then seating the bullet eventually. Okay, so what I got here is I'm using these Hornady 30 cal 150 grain. See there? And the powder that I'm using is this 4064 IMR. I really like this powder. It once you get it in there, it looks like little sprinkles. So you're putting little sprinkles inside each one of your cases, which is pretty cool. Okay, so for me to get the correct round, I always go to Hodgins' website so that I get the correct load for the particular grain of bullet and the powder that I'm using. They make it real simple for you. So you can see here, it's just drop down boxes. So I just scroll over to 308 Winchester. The bullet weight was 150 grains. HMR or IMR is the powder, and it was 4064 was the particular powder. You know, you see there's a bunch of options here, so you want to make sure you select the right ones. You want to make sure that when you, if you do pull the bags out of your boxes, that you label them so that you know what grain they are, because you don't want to run into pressure issues, you know, possibly destroy your weapon or hurt you. So that's very important. So after you fill in the selection boxes, you hit get data and scroll down, and it'll show you the manufacturer, the powder, the bullet diameter, cartridge overall length, the grains, the velocity it is expected to travel at this grain, and the PSI. So you can load it between 4.29 and 46.7 grains on the max. I typically never go near the max. Sometimes I'll go pretty close. I'll just stay pretty close to the starting load. How close I was. So on these older skills, really all you do is let's back this up a little bit, make sure the thing's moving around, it's free. I drop that on there. So I got it at 40. It's a little heavy. So just inch that forward a little bit. 41, 42, starting to move. 42.9. See, it's moving pretty well here. And then right at 43. 43, it goes level. One thing that I usually do is I'll probably do about 3 of these. I'll measure it out so they all come out the same. You want to make sure that when you do these loads that they come out the same. You don't want there to be a variance, a very large variance. You want it to be very small. So you want to double, triple, quadruple check if you can. So you don't have to run. You don't have to run the risk of blowing your face off. As you can see here, it fills it just right up. I don't know if you guys can see, but right up to the top. There's not a lot of room there. So, like when you seat that bullet, they're like holding hands. So that's why it's very important on this caliber to make sure that you don't mess it up. Okay, so I have all those loaded. Disadvantage of doing it this way is I have a whole bunch of cases just sitting there ready to be knocked over, and they're all completely full of powder. So if you're gonna do this a lot, I would suggest getting a tray to hold them all. So what I do is I got my my handy dandy holder on there, and this thing was as we saw earlier on Hodgdon website, you want the cartridge overall length to be 2.8. so you're going to need your calipers for this part, and you want to do this real slowly, because you do it too quick and you're going to have a bullet that is way too short. And it's better to go a little bit at a time than go all in, because trying to pull bullets with a bullet puller with 308 is a pain in the ass. I'll let you know I have a bullet puller, and that thing hates large rifle cartridges. Anything with a large grain, and you gotta beat the shit out of it before it wants to come out of there. So I'll tell you right now, don't fuck up on your rifle reloads.